I never thought a single sentence could shatter the foundation of a marriage, but there I was, sitting across from my wife in the sterile, bright room of Dr. Keller's office, listening to words I never imagined I'd hear. "If I told you I cheated, would you forgive me?" she asked, her voice calm, almost eerily casual. My heart stopped for a second and then my entire body went tense. I blinked, trying to process whether I had heard her right, or whether my ears were playing tricks on me. The room smelled faintly of coffee and antiseptic, but all I could focus on was the sudden drop in my stomach, a heaviness that had nothing to do with the furniture around us. "My name is Michael, I'm 36, and I thought I knew everything about my wife, about us. Married for 8 years, together for 12. I always thought that even if we argued, even if tempers flared, there were invisible lines we wouldn't cross. I never thought trust could unravel with just a whisper, a confession that shouldn't even exist if our foundation was strong." But as she sat there, eyes fixed on mine, lips slightly trembling, I realized I was dead wrong. Dr. Keller, our therapist, shifted in her seat, sensing the tension, and gave a small, almost imperceptible nod for us to continue. My mind raced. I wanted to speak, to ask, to scream, to demand some kind of explanation that made sense. But the words wouldn't come. All I could do was stare at her, hoping she would clarify that it was a joke, a test, something that could be dismissed. Instead, she just waited, like the calm before a storm, her fingers twisting nervously in her lap. I tried to remember our life together, all the little things that had seemed insignificant at the time. The weekend breakfasts, the shared jokes, the way she always knew when I needed a hug without asking. Were these memories real, or were they just illusions that masked a truth I had never wanted to see? I thought back to last week, the subtle changes I had ignored, the late nights she said were for work, the small distances in her voice, the laughter that didn't reach her eyes. I had noticed, yes, but I had buried the unease beneath reassurances. I told myself, "She's tired. She's stressed. It's nothing." And now, those reassurances felt like sand slipping through my fingers. "Why?" I finally managed to whisper, my voice hoarse, barely audible. Her eyes glistened. "Because I couldn't stop myself, Michael," she said. "It wasn't planned, it just happened. I didn't mean to, but I did. And I need you to know. I can't keep lying to you." The words hit me like cold water. My heart raced, my hands tightened on the arms of my chair, and my throat closed. I wanted to react, to yell, to throw something, to make the world acknowledge the betrayal I was feeling. But the room was silent except for her voice and the soft ticking of the wall clock. Every tick felt like a hammer striking my chest. I remembered my friend's warnings over the years: trust her, but don't ignore the signs. I had laughed them off. We were in love, I had said. She would never do this. But what if the signs had been there all along, subtle, ignored because I wanted comfort, because I wanted belief over truth? I looked at her again. The woman I had loved, shared my life with, the mother of my children, the woman I had trusted above all else. She was confessing to something that could change everything. I felt anger, of course. Rage that someone could disregard our marriage like this. But beneath the rage was something sharper, something I couldn't escape, a profound sense of loss. Because suddenly the safety I had taken for granted didn't exist. The woman I thought I knew, who laughed at my jokes, who held me during late-night storms, had crossed a line I didn't think she could. Dr. Keller cleared her throat gently. "Michael, take a deep breath. You don't have to respond immediately. This is about understanding, not reaction." I swallowed hard, feeling the lump in my throat grow. Understanding? How could I possibly understand this? I had never imagined I would be sitting here, forced to listen to a confession that shredded everything I believed about our relationship. She continued, her voice low, almost pleading. "I know this hurts and I don't expect forgiveness right now. I had to tell you. I couldn't go another day pretending this hadn't happened. I want to try to fix this if we can, but I know it might be too late." I wanted to speak, to shout, to slam my fists against the desk and demand answers, but all that came out was a whisper, "Who?" Her eyes dropped and she exhaled slowly. "It doesn't matter. What matters is us, if we can even get there. But I need you to know I was wrong. I can't take it back, but I can be honest now." Honest. That word felt hollow in my ears. Honest after the fact. After the betrayal. After the nights she had been elsewhere, after the lies I had unknowingly accepted as normalcy. The rest of the session passed in a blur. I asked questions, she answered, carefully, as if every word had to be measured. Dr. Keller guided us through the steps, trying to navigate the emotional landmine that had become our marriage. But I could feel it unraveling, the threads I had thought unbreakable fraying in my hands. By the time we left the office, the air outside felt sharper, colder. The sun was shining, but it seemed distant, irrelevant to the storm that had erupted inside me. She walked beside me, hesitant, unsure if I would turn and scream, or if I would just walk away silently, like a man who had already lost his trust. I didn't know what I would do. I only knew that everything had changed in a moment, in a room that smelled faintly of coffee and antiseptic, in a single confession that shattered what I had taken for granted.